Alright, what's going on, big dogs? SJ Leo here, and in today's video, I wanted to go over the recently released Destined for Destruction, the major May update, if you will, for Lost Ark. I already did kind of a summary video of it. They hadn't released the full patch notes yet, so this is kind of a second rundown of the patch. So if you guys want to know more about this, please check out my previous video. But anyways, let's dig into it. Alright guys, like I said, I did a previous video on this update before it was released, and it just kind of went over some of the main highlights. So the Legion raid, the Vulcan Legion raid, the Destroyer, the Guardian raid, new clan challenges, things like that. A lot of this main stuff. So it's not till the skins where we start seeing some of the more new content that wasn't in the previous that are now 100% released and in the game. So let's start with the skins. So like I said in my previous video, if you guys watched that, I'm not a huge fan of this style in really any game, whether that be League of Legends, Skyrim, you name it. I've never been a big fan. I've never been a big fan of having skins in the game that make you look like you're just a normal person, right? Like, because that's the whole point. Is a lot of these games are a big escape for a lot of people, a nice way to wind down after a long day. I don't really want to be dressed up in high heels and a sundress and jeans while I'm trying to save the world from a demonic invasion, or in some other games like imagine playing Devil May Cry and you're out there looking like this, like you're getting ready for volleyball practice or something like that, right? Like, I'm not a huge fan of this style, so I wasn't going to pick up anything, but then they added this, and this made me super, super excited. I saw this in the notes the other day, and I was so hyped. I was so hyped to make this video. So this is the new Destroyer exclusive skin set. So this is only for the Destroyer. You can only get this for the Destroyer class, and it looks absolutely stunning. This looks phenomenal. This is the kind of stuff that I want to see. I want to see some badass, like, come at me type of armor, right? Because that is the whole point of this game, is you're supposed to be kind of like the savior, right? You're supposed to be the savior of the world, quote unquote, right? Like, you're trying to stop a demonic invasion. So this is sick. I love it a lot. The bulls on the side are beautiful. The, like, almost, I would say it's black, but it looks almost more of a navy blue, like a darker navy blue, almost black, you could say. And then like the gold, like the dark gold color, phenomenal. This looks great. Really, really like this one. And then these sets here look even better. This is the type of armor I want to see. Now, they did the female fighter, which is fine. I'm obviously a male martial artist, but this skin set still looks great for both. Uh, these all look phenomenal. This is all stuff I would absolutely wear, because this, again, looks more like the, come at me, like, fearsome warrior fighter, whatever you are. It makes you look like a threat, right? Like, and I like that a lot. Super cool, super dope. Love these item sets, or these skin sets. 100% will be picking these up. Same with the weapons. The weapons look phenomenal. This Warhammer looks fantastic. Bow, right? Bow, yes, that looks fantastic. The fighter gauntlet looks fantastic. Great sword, and the guns, it looks all phenomenal. Paladin, all this stuff looks great. 10 out of 10. I love this stuff. So, next thing they actually added in was some stronghold structures and customization. So they added in some new stronghold structures and customization items to the in-game store. Items include tents, the romantic camping set, and the sweet picnic set, and more. So right here, as it's pictured, you can just kind of see nothing crazy. This is actually something I wouldn't mind having on my beach, I guess. Like, it looks good. It looks comforting. Definitely like it kind of reminds me of like a Skyrim household, kind of lakeside home. I don't know if you guys ever installed any mods like that for Skyrim, where you were able to build like a beachside home, and you would have like little areas out front. I guess, even like nowadays in modern times, like, people do this a lot, so it's nice. This is the one time I guess I could see, like, if you're actually going really hard in the role play aspect of the game, this is one time I could see you rocking something like this over here. So fair enough then. General store updates. So the store special packages have been added, which include the Sunshire Will skin set alongside other valuable items to help you in your adventures. So, of course, just basic skin selection. So And then this one here added a button allowing players to preview skins from selection chests in their inventory before making a choice. That's really nice. I like this a lot because I know when they released, I believe it's the Omen set is the last one that was released. Granted, they all looked really good. Like any color that I would have picked looked really good, but it was kind of a annoying decision that you had to like if you hadn't looked at the skin prior, you had to go out of the game if you only have one monitor or whatever, you'd have alt tab. And then you'd go and find it online, which was a little annoying. So now it's nice to actually be able to see what skin you're gonna be like, what the skin's actually gonna look like on you. So that's nice. And I know it's something little, but it's nice. So they've added some general updates and QL adjustments. So just some more character customizations, some new hairstyles for all the main classes, 5 warrior pre-made and 5 facial presets, which is really nice. Added human ears for mage class, which is awesome. Really glad they put that in there. That is honestly like maybe I think it's just me probably, but I just don't like the elf ears, I guess. The elven pointy ears. Not a fan of them. Just not for me. And then so they added in some new menus, options, and settings, and a few of these are ones I really want to highlight over. Now, I'm not going to go over this entire patch. I'm going to say that right now. I'm not going to go over all of this. This would be a 35-minute video, and no one wants to hear about all of it, because a lot of it's just little bug fixes, little implements in here, but there are a lot of really, really good ones, and those are the ones I'm going to kind of highlight over. So listen closely. I'm going to go over kind of the big ones, okay? So they added an integrated dungeon menu, which basically just tells you what dungeons and raids are available to your player and allows players to enter those activities directly through the menu. So again, basically they're just allowing a quicker access to the dungeons and raids. Pretty simple, right? Players can now check their character's participation status for various pieces of content. So same thing as before, but just for other content. So islands or ghost ships, things like that. They now added a favorite mount setting. Favorite mounts will be randomly summoned. So that's kind of cool. Not for everybody, but I do like that. So it'll kind of just be like whenever you mount up, right? And you have your favorite mounts say you have like 3 different favorite mounts, it'll choose between one of those 3 whenever you mount up. So kind of cool, not for everybody, but it's something, it's a nice little touch. It's not game breaking or anything like that. So now this one here is actually a really big one. So they added an option to exclude items with specific engravings to auto dismantling. So basically now you can set it to where, say you're a fighter like me, right? A martial artist like me. And we all know if you play martial artist, if you don't, adrenaline is one of the big keys or one of the big engravings for martial artists, right? A lot of martial artists run adrenaline. And so basically now you can say every piece of armor that doesn't have adrenaline on it, I don't want it. And it'll just auto dismantle it, excluding the other pieces that have that selected engraving on it. So basically, it just makes the process a little easier of finding the gear that you're actually looking for. So you don't have to hover over every piece of armor, read what it has on it, and then go from there. Now it's just going to do it for you automatically once you set it up. So basically, if you guys haven't noticed from what I've read off already, the big theme for this patch is honestly just making the game a little bit easier on the player. This game does revolve around having a lot of alt accounts, and this game also revolves around getting to endgame, right? That is the big thing, right? You need to get to endgame to get the best loot and to have the best possible character you can create, right? And that takes a lot of time, and the game knows this. And so they basically decided that with this update, they're going to try and make that process a little bit smoother for the player. So they made it so now, like I said, auto dismantling. You don't have to run to the dungeons in order to do them. You can just go to a quick menu, and it shows you which ones you're able to do, which ones you're not, won't appear up. So it's just making everything a little bit smoother and a little bit easier. You don't have to do as much running around. You don't have to do as much looking into your inventory. Everything, they're basically making a lot of things automated, which is really, really good, and it's going to keep people in the game because honestly, if you watch a lot of people who end up dropping off of games like this, it's because the gameplay itself doesn't get boring, but it's the big pauses in between that get irritating and annoying, and that's when you lose players, right? So if the combat and the systems of the game themselves are really, really good and well-tuned, just like Lost Arks is, but you're constantly have to take pauses and breaks in between to sit there and sort through everything and do all this little tedious stuff that could be changed and could be made simpler, but the game just never does it. You will lose players eventually. and people will get annoyed by that, especially since a lot of this stuff is really easy fixes, and I'm glad that they addressed them and are actually implementing them in the game. So, like, here's another one. This is another one I want to talk about. You can now search more specifically from the advanced search options menu in the auction house. Again, they are basically making everything a lot simpler, right? So basically, they're just making everything really simple. They're making everything a little bit quicker and a little bit less tedious for the player. So really, really good. So they refresh the daily login rewards track, which is fine. And then there is this one. This is the big one here. So they added front and back attack indicators when fighting a boss to better see where your attack is landing. This one to me is really, really big, especially being a martial artist, and the build that I'm going with really does revolve around back attacks, because I'll be doing more damage when doing back attacks. So this is super nice, and I know a lot of playstyles also go around if you're in the front of the boss or if you're in the back, and or maybe they deal less damage if you're facing them, or they do less damage if you're behind them, or whatever, right? A lot of builds can build around that type of stuff. So now just having those indicators being like, you're in the front, you'll be in the back, whatever, it's just going to be easier for the player. Again, just another making the game a little bit more simplistic. They added some shortcuts. Raid leaders chat message will now be highlighted. Super, super nice. See, players can now use their mouse to add or remove sheet music, bounce, and pets in hotbar slots while holding an item that they've picked up. Super nice. Basically down here for PvP, this one I do like. I play a lot of PvP, so I want to run over this one real quick. But basically, all damage reduction skill effects received by a party members in PvP areas have been changed to only apply 60% of that damage reduction. The following skills have been changed to reflect this. So basically, if a paladin, gunlancer, bard, war dancer, soulfist, whatever the class, these abilities now will not hyper buff you like before. They'll still give you the resistances and the damage reductions, but it's not going to be as strong. So now in PvP, you might notice that you die a little faster, and you're going to have to play a little bit more cautious than you were before, which is good. It's going to increase the skill floor a little bit, other than just having a paladin and a bard on your team and one guy who does all the damage, and the other two just sit there and max shield them so that they can't die, right? It's going to shift with the meta a little bit. I don't think it's going to change dramatically, but it's just going to be nice that you're going to have to play a little bit smarter now. I play a lot of PvP in this game because I think it's really fun. It's really good. So I like this change a lot. And then down here, basically just some class balances. I'm not going to go through any of this. You guys can come down and read it based on your class. You really don't have to read any of the other ones, to be completely honest, if you don't have these classes. But yeah, I genuinely really, really like this patch. Again, a big point of this patch was just that it made the game less tedious. It made the game less grind feeling and more of a, I can just get in, play the game, and keep playing the game. I don't have to get in, play for a little bit, pause, play for a little bit, pause, play for a little. That gets old. If you're able to continuously play the game over and over and over again without having to take that long pause and do all this little tedious stuff, which is the stuff that drives players away, right? The reason big games like Call of Duty, League of Legends, things like that stay big, even though maybe they're not in their prime anymore, Call of Duty, is because of the constant just action that you're allowed to get, right? You hop into a game for 10 minutes, 20 minutes, 30 minutes, whatever, you're done, right? You don't have to do anything in between. You can just start up again, right? There's no middleman of the game, right? There's no middleman where you have to stop, double check anything, none of that. It's just hop in, play, rinse, repeat, right? And that is what people want to do with games, right? They just want to hop in, play their game, and continue on. So I'm glad that they're making the game less grindy. I think it's going to keep a lot of players in the game, right? I think a lot of people that maybe be on the fence because it was starting to get tedious will probably stick around a lot longer. And I honestly think this could bring back some players. They have basically been saying, Amazon's basically been saying that these are the kind of updates we should be expecting. And up until right now, up until this patch, they've really fell short on that. So it's nice to see that they seem to be keeping their promise. So I think this is probably the biggest update that this game is going to get this year. I think they're definitely going to have some decent sized ones, but this one right here is going to be a huge turning point for the game, I believe. But anyways, guys, let me know what you think down below. Do you think this patch is really massive and really good for the game, or do you think there's some other things that should have been added, should have been done? Should they maybe have released things later or sooner? Whatever. Let me know down below. If you did enjoy, please leave a like and subscribe to the channel if you really enjoyed. Turn on the notification bell so you know when I upload. And if you didn't enjoy, hit the thumbs down, whatever. Let me know what I can improve. It all absolutely means a ton, guys. Thank you for your time, and I'll see you in the next one. Peace.
I lost my best friend to 23. She left her body in Harvard above me.